matrix multiplication. Let's say we want to find the result of multiplying the two matrices A by B. Now, the first thing you should be concerned about is the dimensions of these two matrices. What do we mean by dimensions? It's the number of rows, and we always start with rows, multiplied by the number of columns. To find the dimensions of these matrices, I'm going to write them down here that the first matrix is 3 rows, as we said, and it is by 2 columns, while my second matrix here is 2 rows and 2 columns. Why am I doing this? I want to find out if it's possible to multiply these two matrices or not. Now, how do I find that? I'm going to be looking at these two numbers in the middle, which represent the numbers of columns of the first matrix and the numbers of rows on the second one. If these two numbers are the same, then yes, my multiplication is possible. If these two numbers are not the same, then the multiplication is not possible, and you're going to just write not possible. Now, after highlighting these two, we are left out with only 2 numbers. This one, that 3, and that 2. These 2 numbers would represent the result of multiplication, the resultant matrix. That resultant matrix will take the same number of rows as the first matrix, which is 3, and the same number of columns as the second matrix, which is 2. So now I know I can multiply, and when I multiply, my result is going to be a matrix, and that matrix has the dimensions of 3 rows and 2 columns. Knowing that that's possible, we can start our multiplication now. I'm going to multiply by finding the first column first, then the second column. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to look at the first element. First element is going to be the multiplication of the first row from the first matrix and the first column of the second matrix. We always take the rows in the first matrix and take the columns from the second matrix. It's never the opposite. So let's say we're going to take the first number with the first number, so I'm going to multiply this 3 here by this 5 and add to it the second number to the second number, which I have just circled, which is going to be 4 times 0. Now, my result here is going to be only one number, which is the first element of the first column. Then I'm going to go for the second element in the first column by multiplying second row of the first matrix again by the first column. So this second element is going to be 6 by 5 again, plus second number, which is -2 by 0. Now I'm going to look for the third element in the first column, which is in the third row. Again, multiply by the first column. I'm going to get 1 times 5, and that is plus 0 times 0. If you look here, you'll find that you have multiplied the first number always by 5, and here the second number always by 0. Now, this result will give me only 1 column. To get the second column, I'm going to again use the same rows I have, but I'm going to multiply them not by the first column again, by the second column, highlighted in blue. So again, in the first row I will have 3 times 1, and that's plus 4 times 2. After that, we're going to have from the second row times the second column, 6 times 1, and that's plus -2 times 2. In the end, we're going to have the third row multiplied by the second column, which is 1 times 1, and that's plus 0 times 2. If we look here, multiplied all the first numbers by 1 and the second number by 2, and you can see the pattern. Now all you need to do is the calculations. You can use a calculator for that, but if you do, please again make sure that you put parentheses, okay? Or else you might get wrong answers. Now we have 15 for my first element plus 0, so that's a 15. Then 30 plus 0 is just 30. Then the last one, which is 5 plus 0, my answer is 5. Here I have found all the first column. Now look at the second one. We have 3 plus 8, that's an 11. Then 6 plus negative 4, my answer is 2. And 1 times 0, so that's a 1. Now this is the resultant matrix of multiplying matrix A by matrix B.